Welcome back to the channel. So today we're just going to kind of do a little build breakdown of my 2013 Mazdaspeed 3. Figured why not? We already did one for the Miata, which is in pieces over there. We'll talk about that later. But I figured we might as well just bring in this video with talking about the speed, the daily driver. So let's get into it. So 2013 Mazdaspeed 3, like I said before, I've owned it probably, when did I get this car? Back in probably 2015, I want to say. Anyways, let me pop the hood real quick and then we can go over everything. But just to kind of start it off, it has a 6-speed. Kind of just have kept the interior as basic as can be. Haven't done anything to it at all. Probably needs more of a cleaning than anything. But yeah, 6-speed. Front wheel drive. Oh, if I can get my finger under there. There we go. 2.3 liter, making 263 horsepower. With, let me put this up. Yeah, 263 horsepower with 280 foot-pounds of torque. So I would say not very fast in comparison in the grand scheme of things in this world that we live in, but otherwise, I mean, gets me from A to B. No complaints. Ignore my battery box that's there. It's a different battery that's in there now. Didn't have the OEM replacement. But yeah, so I got this car right probably 2 years after graduating college, and it had 33,000 miles on it originally. So I am the second owner, I believe. Yeah, could be the third. Could be the third. It's been that long. I don't have a very good memory either, so that's not helping my case. But just to kind of give you guys some details of what I've done to it, has been pretty basic, honestly. It's pretty generic. Everything motor-wise is essentially factory. Haven't done anything, haven't touched an injector, haven't touched the intercooler. I've taken off the cover. That's probably been about it, because I was actually replacing stuff and taking this off. So this should be up higher, but yeah, I have that piece. I can put it in. I just don't care to put it in right now. So this came with it, the Mazdaspeed cap. Everything's pretty standard, pretty straightforward right there. When I was driving this car in California, when I moved there for a brief period of time, the motor mounts went out. So the motor mounts, if you've had a Mazdaspeed 3 or no, they just go out. They are the hydraulic fluid ones. So essentially when they go bad, the hydraulic fluid goes everywhere, which I'm sure there's still, let me go around. I'm sure there's still some remnants of actual hydraulic fluid still sitting in there. So let me see if I can actually find any in here. Yeah, you can still see some. So yeah, I haven't taken off a belt. I haven't done anything in regards to that type of maintenance yet. One day. But I'm chilling. Everything's going well. Everything's working fine. So I'm just doing normal oil changes per usual. Still same Ames oil I use for the Miata. So everything's good to go. But otherwise, from that, we replaced those with the Damon motor mounts. As you can see, all gold and black on both sides. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy to do. You can do it in a parking lot if you really had to. If I was making videos back then, I would have. But yeah, no big deal. So I got a lot of stuff in the way for the Miata, so I can't really back out all the way to kind of show you guys maybe a little bit later, but I have front mount, geez, I have a replacement grille that I put on here. So I like the opening. I prefer the opening in comparison to the kind of the closed grille that was on there before. I think it just looks better, personally, and especially if you have a fat front mount to fill it up. I don't, but if you do, hey, it makes it a lot better, a lot cleaner of a look, in my opinion. And then you can see the engine bay and kind of see all the doodads and kind of access everything, to be honest with you. So maybe before we get rid of this car one day, we'll put that on there. That'd be pretty cool. I've always wanted to do that for this, just to kind of give that look I've been looking for. So maybe, but moving on. We have K-Sport. Not sure if you can see that. Yep. K-Sports, I don't remember. I think they're just the standard ones, front and rear. So gives me a little bit better of a look. A little bit better of a stance, I guess, so to speak. But again, this car is not really meant for anything. It's really just my daily driver. So kind of just want it to look good, drive good, be reliable. with no issues. But since we're down here looking at wheels, scoot over to one that's not curb rashed. So I'll tell you the story about that here in a minute. But brake dusted as can be all the way around. The standard right now. Yeah, so these are, what are these? I think they're Avid .1 or something or other. They're knockoffs of like T's, essentially. I can't afford T's, especially when I just moved to California at the time. Definitely can't afford T's. So I got these on Black Friday for like $129 or something like that a wheel. So these are 18 by 9.5. I can't remember the positive offset that's on that, but yeah, the fronts, you could not put them on without hitting the strut originally. So once I got coilovers, then everything worked. There were no issues, but the stock strut won't work with these if you ever think that they would. So just awareness, it'll just rub on the strut tower the whole way through. So we got that. We got the, see if we can get a light in here at all. We got the end link. I think those are white line end links that we have in there. And then stock brakes, stock rotors, nothing crazy there. Aftermarket, I can't remember the name of those. But, yep. So those are good. And I got a square setup, so it's the same. Tire-wise, we got 245, 35, 18s all around. I cannot remember how much I paid for them. I think I got them off of eBay for like 300 bucks, somewhere around there. So that was great. Here they are. The Dymax R8s, great. They were fine in the rain, no issues. They last a good amount of time. So everything's been going pretty well with this car. And then we got the Miata shifter. The shift knob is the same thread pitch in the Mazdaspeed 3. So got that. I had an access port before. I just gave that away, or sold it to a buddy of mine, so that way he can actually enjoy his car. Because like I said, this is just the daily driver, kind of gets you from A to B. I was gonna do a lot of stuff to it, but I decided kind of against it. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of have a really reliable car, and especially with it being a turbo car, I didn't really want to do too much. So that's where we're at right now. I think we end up replacing all the lights. I need to get new headlights because look at this. This is just terrible. So goals to replace those at some point because they're pretty yellow and they're pretty beat up. I've cleaned them before and painted them. These are just beat and clapped out at this point. So I have a new bumper to put on because of all the bugs and all the old stuff. And really on that side, we have the bumpers coming off the side piece right here. Because when I came here, you can probably see a little better with a little light. When I moved here, moved back, I pushed it on and this was not, there's supposed to be a piece right here, a solid piece right there in between to clamp and clip into that piece right there. So because I pushed it in and it was bent, it broke. So now, I don't know where that piece went. I may be able to take it to somebody to get it repaired. Never really looked into it, honestly, but might be something. But anyways, I already bought a new bumper. It's in the attic. So that's going to get painted. And yeah, we'll go from there. And then some of the smaller stuff I've done, just replace this with carbon fiber for the antenna. And then I did a short shifter as not really within here. Let me move this out of the way. But this allows for a shorter throw. So like I said before, 6-speed, where's it? First, yep, reverse, but yeah, 6-speed. And then that is the also Damon parts. It's underneath this. I don't think you'll be able to see it. It's underneath all of this here, but it's a little short throw. Makes it a shorter throw, so you're not going as far, but it's just kind of a little bit shorter. So I think it's more enjoyable driving wise, but yeah. But back to the lights. We have LEDs all around. Low, high. We don't have high beam LEDs. Not really. I don't think I really need them with this. So these work quite well. Got them off Amazon. If I can find them, I'll throw them back in the link in the description and go from there. But yeah, this is the daily driver. So I can click these any which way I want. I think it's 32 adjustable front and rear. So I like it the way it sits. We'll take some videos of it outside, kind of just sitting there. We'll do a walk around of it. But yeah, this car is pretty great. Does everything I need it to do. Gets you from A to B, like I keep saying. And I have no complaints. No complaints with this car. So, and your latest update on the Miata, if you've made it this far into the video, yeah, the Miata runs. I just actually, which this is pretty funny. Can you read what that says? Can you move this out of the way? Can you read what it says now? Can you see what it's connected to? Yeah, it's been like that for a while. So, yeah, when I moved the car yesterday, which I didn't put on video, I moved it yesterday just to clean up because when I put everything back, it actually had gas kind of fall on the ground and it stunk up the garage, man. It stunk up the garage. So I moved it out, tried to clean the mat underneath it, which is just great, by the way, for leaks. So it's not destroying the concrete and everything. Took it out, cleaned that mat off, dusted it, sprayed it off, a brake clean and everything, got all the smells off, put it back in here. And when I was driving the car in, this actually slit. Let me see. Oh, I already took the trash out. Yeah, this had a slit in it. And that's probably because, it's not meant for this kind of system. So yeah, here we are. But it's back in the car. It's back in the garage. It fires up. Hopefully this weekend we'll be dropping it off for paint and do some cool stuff. And if you've been keeping up with my Instagram, posting every day on there for just with whatever I can, it's pretty much the reason I ended up taking the motor out was because the oil pan gasket that I had replaced it with, it didn't seal. So I didn't actually replace the rear gasket. I replaced the front, but not the rear. I'm not sure why. The rear, it still had a gasket on it. So I thought it would have been fine, but clearly I should have just replaced it. So you live and you learn, you keep moving. But here we are now. So I pulled the motor in today, put it back in, pulled it out, resealed it, made sure everything sat there. Best way to reseal it is if you're gonna keep, I guess, the motor in the air or where it's at currently, you are going to put the gasket up, you'll seal it, and then put a little RTV on it just to kind of hold it in place. If you do it the other way, it kind of moves around and falls. So just put it up top, seal it, hold it there for like 30 seconds or so the RTV kind of holds on, and then go from there. Then you can put the pan up and you'll be set. So now we're not leaking anymore. You can't see a damn thing under there. We're not leaking anymore. So yeah, it feels good. It feels good to finally have a car. I think the real reason I ended up doing it was because I was so worried about failing, like never been to a track day yet, failing TAC or something. TAC? Jeez, I'm a network engineer, so I'm used to saying TAC instead of tech. Failing tech because of it leaking oil. So something small as an oil leak that could cause someone else to spin out behind me or something along those lines. So I decided, hey, I got the time, I might as well just go ahead and knock it out. So I decided to just pull the motor. It was like 10 o'clock in the afternoon and took me like 6-7 hours, what I said in my post. So yeah, it wasn't that bad, especially when you know what you're kind of doing at this point. I ended up just pulling the motor, not taking the transmission out. Transmission would have been easy, but I really didn't want to pull and really just drain it, deal with all that, taking all the PPF off, the diff off, dealing with all that. I didn't want to do it. So I just pulled the motor because everything was everything was ready to go. Really, all the water was out of it already. It was just staring me in the face. So now that that's done, everything is back in order. It fires up, it runs. It's not leaking oil after the fact, so I'm happy. But yeah, that's the reason that I did that. And I didn't feel like making another video for that. Maybe could have made a video for pulling the motor. I'm just rambling at this point. But yeah, I didn't want you guys to have to go through and sit and watch me reseal an oil pan again. So that's about it. I think I'm going to work on doing the timing belt maybe this weekend. If I don't get to drive it, to drop it off of paint, to just replace the timing belt. This plastic piece here that's kind of all loose and whatnot. So little things, just little stuff. But otherwise, yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, man.